Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching Master Jason Feng Shui channel. Today I will attempt to discuss with you one of the most difficult questions to answer related to astrology and Feng Shui. I personally have practiced astrology and Feng Shui for more than 30 years, and throughout my life I have experienced or have witnessed firsthand that astrology and Feng Shui do have their power in the sense that astrology is able to predict events both of the past and of the future. And well, Feng Shui do have their influence on humans' life. 哈，就是说我在这个30年30多年学这个命理哦，还有风水的这些学问的经历来说呢，我已经很多的时候呢，看到它的用处，就是说它的准确性，还有它的那个对不起啊，那个 camera 有点歪哈，就是说它在风水上面，在我们的命理上面，也是能够反映出很多东西，好像。如果一个人在某些大运来说走到一些他的喜用神的运，他自然会有一些好的情况出现，或者好的运在他的人生里面就是说可能是带来金钱上的进展事业上的顺利等等。那走到一些不好的运就是走到他忌神的运，或者呢他的紫微斗数遇到凶星的时候，他真的有一些好像破财的情况出现生病的情况出现。那我不能够否认呢，我一直深入去研究这个命理学呢，就是因为我看过太多实际上的一些 practical real life 的 circumstances 或者一些 example， 觉得呢这些命理跟风水真的对人有一个影响力所以呢大家也是常常都问可是呢我们很多东西在风水上这个命理上的一些理论都很难用一些 scientific 的一个 approach 去理解I have witnessed that a lot of predictions that have come true using 八字紫微斗数 for instance. And Feng Shui do have influence over my client's life, right, for the past 30 over years. But we still are at the point whereby science is not able to catch up with astrology and Feng Shui, or science is not yet at a level that is able to explain everything that is related to astrology and Feng Shui. But recent development, right, has shown that certain things are getting closer as some of the phenomena that we have observed in Feng Shui, right? One of the experiment, right? If you are someone who is into who has followed scientific development, right? Is this theory called the quantum entanglement? Okay, I know, right? For all those people who are not scientists, who are not familiar with physics, right? May find whatever all that I'm saying, right, will be very hard to comprehend or understand. But all this, right, you can Google online and find out the actual experiment that have taken place. So I will drop you some of the key terms, right? They may sound very scientific, but they are all the latest what we call scientific discovery. All right. So the first term that I will show to you, right, is called the quantum entanglement. 那我们呢，在现代的科学来说嘛，就有一些很新的一些叫做发现，一些 discovery 是那它的那个 discovery 呢，是跟我们 astrology 的背后的那个逻辑呢，是有一个关联性的。那我今天会介绍给大家一些这一方面的 scientific 的一些 study 那大家可以去做一些 further research I'm not saying that I'm able to explain to you totally and help you be able to understand what is quantum entanglement. All right, let me adjust my camera. I'm so sorry, right? But all these latest discovery in science, right? Okay, I'm just so sorry about this camera. It seems to kind of moving in the wrong direction. Okay, so are you able to see me clearly? Okay, sorry about this, yeah. Okay, let me just try to balance the angle of the camera. All right, so you can see me clearly, right? All right, just try to adjust some more so that it is clear. Okay, so right, I will also share with you the screen, and to tell you that why are certain latest discovery in science is getting more and more correlated with astrology and feng shui. Okay, please don't move, right? All right, the camera, please don't move, right? I don't know. All my technical equipments, right, always have strange issues, right, occurring. Okay, but okay, what is this quantum entanglement? Okay, I know whatever I tell you today will be a little bit, unrelated to what you are interested in, like numerology or 八字之类都是. But it is interesting for us to understand all these latest discovery in terms of science also. So I will share with you the screen and give you all these keywords. You guys can do Google search on all these things. Okay, so in terms of physics, there is the latest discovery of the quantum entanglement. Of course, this is a scientific terms, and of course, I would say 90% of the people who are listening to whatever I'm saying now, right, will not be able to understand. But really, to give you a background, right, theoretical explanation of what is this quantum entanglement, it is that, right, in terms of the okay, let me try to make it as simple to understand as possible. Okay, quantum entanglement is the phenomenon in quantum physics where two or more particles become correlated in such a way that the state of one particle instantaneously affects the state of the others, regardless of the distance between them. It challenges our classical understanding of locality and causality. All right, so 就是说用华语说多一次啊，这个 quantum entanglement 它到底在说什么呢？哈，我就用简单的华语尝试去去解释给你们听哈。那其实呢，在这个 quantum physics 的这个研究里面呢，我们量子的物理学哈，又甚至这个量子力学哈。就是说，他会理解一件事情，就是说呢，我们所有的 particle 啊，我们的那种atoms 啊，那种proton 什么东西啦就里面都有那个电池的能量哦。然后呢，我们如果呢，就是打个比喻哦，我们把一个石头丢在一个大海里面嘛，我们就能够了解呢，虽然这个石头很小。可是它能够创造出来的那个 ripple 嘛，就会影响整个海洋的那个 wave。所以呢，就是我在说什么呢？哈，我尽量用最简单的中文来解释给你们听哈。就是说呢，我们这个宇宙呢，所有的东西其实是一个vibrational energy， 而且它们会互相影响的，就是大概这样的一个概念哦。那其实呢，在欧洲的一个核子研究组织呢，叫做 European Organization for Nuclear Research 呢，那它是现在目前呢世界上最大型的粒子物理实验室，它是呢在很多国家一个投资来做的一个实验室。那我们呢在这个实验室里，人类呢就在这个实验室里面呢，就是科学家啦，把我们的这个我们叫做粒子这个粒子就是我们的 particle 光的那个粒子科学家称之为光子，就是那个应该叫做 protons 对不对？我们英文就叫做OK， 我查一下那个光子什么对不起因为今天呢我说的东西真的会比较深的因为呢我希望呢大家给我一个就是给我一个就是说 understanding 呢，就是说我今天说的东西并不是说我平时说的那种很简单的东西。那我们其实 if you go into the atomic level, right? We have something called the proton， 就是那个光子那那些科学家呢，就在这个实验室里面呢，把一个 protons 呢split 成两个 protons 那当这个 protons split 在两个变成两个两个 entity 之后呢，他们就发现一个很奇怪的一个问题就是说。当其他的其中的一个split proton, right? They are actually at 22.4 kilometers apart. But when the scientists move one proton, the other proton actually move at the same direction, right? So let's say, all right, try to visualize, right? There's this proton, okay? perhaps I will draw it out, right, so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, let's say, right, we have two proton. Okay, we have this thing called proton. Scientists split it into two. Okay, we have one here, another one here. So, right, what happens is that, right, scientists discovered that when one proton, right, move this direction, the other split the proton also move in the same direction. So it is a very strange incident. It shows that, right, regardless of the distance that they are at, right, they are actually about 22.5 kilometers, 0.4 kilometers apart, right? These two protons that are being split in this European Organization for Nuclear Research is being split in two locations, right, at 22 kilometers apart. But despite the distance, right, that these two protons are being separated, when you move one proton, the other proton actually move at the same direction. So it proves something is that, right, we have this phenomena or phenomenon that proton that is split from the same that are split, right, they will actually behave the same way despite the distance that they are at. Alright， 就是说呢，那个光子嘛。OK， 我知道我现在做东西啊，人家说，哎呀 ，Master 先生，你又講，你喺度講乜鬼啊？不，這個真的，這個我們叫做quantum entanglement 啊，大家去 research，OK， 去做 Google research。我可能現在講哦，你們可能聽不懂我在說什麼啊。可是 online 有很多這種 research 哦，這個我們叫做 quantum entanglement 的這個 research， 所以你們自己去找。可是呢，它都證明了一件事情，就是說，如果嘛 protons 它split 的，就是把它分開了以後嘛，你動一個photon 的時候，另外一個 photon 也會走一樣的那個 direction 的時候，就證明一件事情呢，就是說我們particles 跟 particles 之間是有一個 correlation 的，也是等於什麼？我們永遠呢說我們八字紫微斗數呢，這些都是被星體影響，對不對？我們天上的星體在走動，對不對？然後會影響我們的so called 我們的 life force， 我們的aura 或者我們的 development 所以就是證明我們 science 其實已經在 catch up 了，就是說開始了解嘛，我們的這個宇宙呢，全部的東西其實是有一個我們叫做有一個 link 的。有一個 link 的那也是為什麼呢？我們常常都是說好像打個比風水上就是說呢，如果你的祖先的骨嘛，那個骨灰啊，我們裡面的骨灰嘛，我們的骨灰，如果祖先的骨灰你葬在一個好的陰宅風水，就是說你找到一個很好的地方，前面有明堂的，然後有走青龍，有白虎啊，然後那個前朱雀啊，那個後面又有靠山啊，那種呢很好的陰宅風水呢，那也會 benefit 你的下一代。那是為什麼呢？就是因為這種我們叫做 quantum entanglement 的其中的一個背後的一個 philosophy 為什麼呢？那我如果呢用更加簡單的一個說法呢，來解釋這個 quantum entanglement 是什麼東西的話呢，那它就是等於呢，你有兩個 coins 你有兩個 coins， 就是說呢，你有兩個 coins 吧，這兩個 coins 可是它兩個 coins 是本身是同樣的一種OK 啦，是啦，一個 proton 來的，可是你幻想它變成兩個 coins， 那你丟一個 coins 的時候呢，另外一個 coins 它也同時會丟，也會跳起來的，就是說它是科學家現在發現的一件東西啦所以呢，很直接的是說呢，就是說有一些東西呢，在我們這個宇宙裡面呢，是有一個關聯性的。那就等於我們風水上每次說你要找一個很好的陰宅風水，對不對？就是說如果呢，你找到的一個你的祖先在一個很好的祖墳那邊就是埋葬的時候嘛，你下一代也是會很好 ，right? There's this saying in 風水 whereby, right, if your ancestors are being buried in a very auspicious 風水 location, it will positively affect your descendants. Why is that so? It is really because of this quantum entanglement. You and your ancestors actually, in terms of DNA, will share a link. It's like there's this message or this code that will only exist within your own body and that within the body of your ancestors. That's why Feng Shui will influence us in such a way whereby when your ancestors is being buried in a location that will help to generate positive energy for their bone ashes, it will also subsequently influence your life force, right? That is what it's trying to say. And additionally, our planetary movements, as you all know, right? If you look at a lot of religious study, it also says that we are not just us，我们是一个小宇宙啊，我们是跟这个大宇宙有一个联系的哈。所以呢，就是说，为什么我们的星体的走动会影响我们这个人体的这个 life force 啊？好了，那我停一下先，可能你不又听到一头雾水啊，那我就停一下，先看一下 comment 先哦。一方，谢谢你的观看哦。Good evening. I'm listening with much interest. Chinese metaphysics is being beyond science. Yes, I agree. But I would say, right, at this moment, science is actually showing a lot of progress that is able to answer why is there a link between, for example, different particles, right? Like what I mentioned earlier about this quantum entanglement. Okay, so you guys can read up all this, right? I don't want to be too theoretical because, right, you have tons and tons of information online about this quantum entanglement. 哦，所以嘛，我们在以后的那个scientific 的那个 development 里面呢，可能真的会开始了解啊，为什么我们天体的走动会影响我们啊？那也是呢because right there's this interconnectedness between everything in this universe. So quantum entanglement proposed that, right, it demonstrates that particles can remain connected and influence each other instantly, no matter the distance. This suggests a fundamental connectedness of the universe at the quantum level. Quantum physics 就是呢那个我们atomic level 那个 particles 呢所带来的能量那其实我们全部人体，好像我们的头发、我们的眼睛、我们的鼻子、我们的肉，全部都是一种 particles 而已吗？都是 atoms 来做的吗？所以我们其实里面身体全部都有 electromagnetic field 的，对不对？这个是我们每个人读过 primary school science 或者 secondary science 都知道，我们有时候碰一些东西，我们会被电到，为什么？因为我们就是一个 magnetic field 来的。我们本身也是好像地球这样有一个 north pole 一个 south pole， 然后里面有很多 electromagnetic field 在我们的人的身上right? So our bodies actually are kind of like it's made up of atoms, made up of particles, right? At the subatomic level, we also have a proton inside of us. So basing on these facts that we have protons inside of us and looking at the quantum entanglement, that has already been proven by scientists to be true, that when a proton is being split, right, particles can remain connected and influence each other instantly, no matter the distance. So it suggests a fundamental connectedness of the universe. 所以就是说，我们的人生嘛，我们的 body, our human body, also have protons inside and also have particles inside. And is actually correlated with a lot of things in our environment, right? So, so all this is still has been proven by experiment. So you guys can do some research on it. And astrology also proposed the idea that celestial bodies like planets, like stars, and their movements are connected to events on Earth, reflecting microcosm and macro and microcosm relationship. Means, right, whatever happens in the larger environment, it will also affect us at the kind of like more at a smaller scale. Like whatever that happens at the big scale will also affect us at the smaller scale. That's why I mentioned, right, 太岁是什么？太岁, right, every 12 years we will experience 太岁, right, generally speaking. It is really the Jupiter star that is actually having a very tremendously great energy upon the planet Earth, because Jupiter, as you know, is one of the biggest planet in the solar system. Okay, so so many astrologers actually see this as a form of cosmic interconnectedness. 就是说，也是佛教里面所说的小宇宙跟大宇宙。我本身也是一个我本身我的身体也是一个宇宙来的那这个小宇宙就是我们所说的 macrocosm， 那大宇宙就是那个 macro-criticism， 就是说呢，打个比喻啊，那个木星就是 Jupiter 呢，走到如果跟 Mars align 在一起的时候啊，那个时候就是很多时候地球会地震那地球地震它会不会影响人很多地球上的生物？那一定会影响啊，对不对？所以其实呢，风水并不是一种迷信，right？So 风水 is not a superstitiousness. It is just a way of ancient people trying to make sense of the universe, make sense of the world. And truthfully speaking, if you break down everything around us, we actually just have the five elements, for instance. The monitor that you are looking at right now, it is of the light and it belongs to the fire element, right? When I drink water, right, this cup of water, it helps my body to run, all right? Of course, it's tomato juice. I love tomato juice, all right? So, but for me, right, of course, this is tomato juice is also of the, is in a liquid form, right? If without this liquid form that nourishes our body and help us to have circulation, which is of the water element, I will not survive, right? Every one of us need to have a proper circulation system. Our lymphatic system need to function properly in order to survive. So fire element, right, is definitely one element that is essential for survival. Water element likewise. Okay, so let's take a look at Yvonne. Okay, Yvonne, you seem, you have one YouTube account and one Facebook account, is it? Right. Yeah, yes. So right, what I'm trying to say is that, right, whatever Chinese metaphysics is proposing, there is a common sense behind it. And it's all observable around us. It's not like a lot of religions, they tell you things that cannot be observed, like, for example, I don't know, like demons. Can you Satan, right? Can you see Satan? Can you observe demons? Of course, it is a kind of personification of certain values in my own personal judgment. Okay, like that's why I view all religious belief, right, are the same. It's very much like vitamin C, right? We go to different pharmacies to get vitamin C. We have brand like Ocean, what I call Ocean Health. We have the Blackmore. We have the whatever different kind of brands of vitamin C. But ultimately, it's the same vitamin C that you are taking. So, right, religions are the same thing, right? You have Christianity, you have Buddhism, you have Taoism, you have Hinduism, other form of thousands and kinds of religious belief on earth, right? But ultimately, if you remove all the layers of personification, remove all the layers of the kind of rituals they perform or the prayers that they say, it all boils down to the same value: having compassion for your fellow human beings, having faith, having hope, having love, both for yourself and for the world. So basically, I mean, this is my personal view, all right? That's why I don't, right? I have clients who are Christian, where I have clients who are Muslim, I have clients who are Taoist, Buddhist, right? But they all come to me for astrology reading because they see it as a tool to improve their life. But ultimately, to me personally, regardless of what kind of religious belief you have, ultimately it's the same thing. It's just that you are giving it a kind of like different personification, right? You have we have different gods names, right? Like for example, in Chinese we call vitamin C 维他命 C, right? But in English we call it vitamin C. But are they the same thing basically, ultimately? Yes, of course they are the same thing, right? When you take vitamin C, it benefits your body, right? It helps you, right? For example, to have a better immune system. It is the same function. But due to in terms of psychology, right? Sigmund Freud have this term called the narcissism of minor differences. It means that, right, people just like due to their cultural background or personal preference, they like to characteristically, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is like they try to build their own cult and get the following, and then in a way it helps to control. Ultimately, religious belief will become a kind of political tool to control people's behavior. But in terms of personal level, I believe all kind of religions are the same. And ultimately, right, I also think that ancient philosophy like 八正紫微斗数 is able to get to the very core of the nature of our existence, right? Scientifically, right? Okay, early on I mentioned about the fire element, right? Which is light, which is heat, which is warmth, right? All these are essential for living. Circulatory system, water, like the liquid inside our body, like the blood, the lymphatic system, are also important. That's of the water element. And then we also have the wood element. For example, our hair is of the wood element, right? For example, like our nails are of the wood element, okay? And these are all part of our body. And we also have the metal element, like minerals, right? Like, for example, if you drink water, right, without minerals, the water actually will like, it's not going to help our body, all right? There's actually minerals inside the water. That's why it helps our body to grow. That's why, right, metal is able to generate water that will help plants to grow. That is the Basel theory of the 五行生克制化论，对不对？所以嘛，就是说，全部东西呢，在我们这个五行里面呢，都包括着人生宇宙所有的背后的意义所在。那最后还有一个就是什么？就是土了。我们本身这个肉体啊，这些肉都是土嘛。当你死去以后嘛，when you are being buried under the earth, right? You also become earth. Your flesh will all turn to soil. Okay. So basically, ancient people are able to observe that the cosmic, or at least the solar system that we are in, basically is just of these five elements. That's why when you ask me whether astrology is a scientific, I will say if you consider science as a form of empirical study, means right, it is it is an objective way of looking at the universe. Then astrology, especially from this Bazi perspective, right, it is definitely very scientific. It is breaking down the whole universe into its very the most basic elements in order to give you a measurement, right? And of course, in this universe, we understand this very core principle is that everything needs to be balanced in order for variable conditions to surface. For example, in this solar system, if you have too much sun, right, we will have very hot weather. When the weather is too hot, living things will not be able to survive. But when it's too cold, right, or too much water, right, they'll be flooding. Then living things will not be able to survive also. So it's always about the achieving of balance, which is the core philosophy of Bazi reading. Okay. So basically, to me personally, astrology is scientific and it has nothing to do with superstition. But of course, in terms of modern society, a lot of practitioners is using astrology in a superstitious way. For example, I have this very ridiculous case whereby, right, one of my clients actually watched a TikTok video. The astrologer actually says, right, when you open the wallet inside, right, the columns inside, I mean the compartments inside the wallet, you must have a double digit kind of like compartment. So if it's not right, it will not be able to produce wealth. So that is more what I consider as superstitiousness, all right? Because nowadays, if you eat, okay, most of the billions and millions, whether they carry with them water or not, it will not affect their wealth, okay? So what is to do with the compartments inside the water? All these are nonsense, okay? So, but I personally will still try to look at 八字 like 紫微斗数 or even Feng Shui. Feng Shui, basically, if you break it down, right, it is just about airflow and humidity, right? It is just a very scientific term, but a lot of people like to especially in modern context, right? 很多人就喜欢用风水来说一些很奇怪的东西，最后都是为了怎么样？是希望你打开你的钱包。可是我们风水是什么呀？风就是我们的 airflow 啊，水就是我们的 humidity 啊。那你在一个 environment 里面regardless of what kind of living environment you are in, you will always need to have sufficient airflow. Or those, if you don't have sufficient airflow, lack of oxygen will cause you to suffocate and die, right? This is also very commonsensical. And secondarily, humidity. You will always need to have a certain level of humidity. within your in the air around you in order for you to have a healthy body. So am I to say that feng shui is superstitious? Is not superstition, it is common sense. And as I have already mentioned earlier on about this quantum entanglement, our planetary movements will actually affect us, will affect the photons inside our body. And all these photons in our body is part of the factors that will influence our health. That is also the reason why I have often witnessed in such a way whereby, like just yesterday, I visited a feng shui. I have a feng shui audit for a family. The father actually has fallen sick, and when I have do a thorough checking of the direction of the house and the sleeping area, this father actually is about 70 or 80 years old. So he is actually sleeping at this area that is what we call the five yellow area, which is the 廉政虎王星，就是我们的病符星啊。那他刚刚好又跟家里面的那个五鬼会一起 overlap， 所以他一直都生病，从3年到现在都一直都生病啊。那我去到他的房间，就也是 once again another real life kind of like example that feng shui will influence us either positively or negatively, and given a choice, why not use it positively to benefit your life？ 就是那么简单哦。那前几天还有一个很特别的 example 啊，我们记得嘛，就是说前几天哦，就是说我们在那个 Korea 嘛，South Korea 就有一个我们的飞机撞飞机嘛，哦。那个飞机的号码是什么？前几天我才叫你们那个我们所说的有一些号码是比较容易出意外的嘛。对，那个飞机的号码就是什么？我写给大家看啊，大家可能是说会有点觉得也是很有趣哈，可能真的是一个 coincidence， 或者真的某一些号码呢会真的带来意外的哈。那个飞机号码就是2216啊，对不对？哦。我们的那个 Jeju Air 对不对？好，我们这个 Jeju Air。OK， 你们自己去找了哈，这些东西全部都在你们 Google 那边可以找得到啊。那个Jeju Air 那个 flight 是什么？它就是2216啊。我说过了号码最后那2个呢，就是决定我们的吉凶的嘛啊。那你看一下这个 Jeju Air 嘛。我们看回去那个什么号码是不好的，那天我有告诉过你们哦，有什么是号码是不好的哦。那个16哦，这个16就是我们的什么六杀，对不对？六杀号码嘞，六杀就是这个杀就是通常代表什么煞气啊？那这个Jeju真的死了很多人呢那天我才告诉你们多少个人死，你们记得吗？也是OK，how many people die 啊？你们去查一下啦 ，Google 这些都有说哦。那天就有179个人死啊，对不对？179啊，我说这个17就是一个不好的号码，对不对？17就是我们的祸害啊，对不对？17就是我们的祸害嘞啊。然后79是什么？79就是 OK， 我都应该画另外一个颜色。79就是对不起啊，还是一样的颜色，我有点色盲了，对不对？那79就是什么？就是一个我们所说的什么号码？五鬼号码，对不对？很多人因为这个六杀死了有变成了一个 accident， 祸害就一个 accident， 然后就变成鬼了，他们就变成鬼了，变成很多鬼，很多人死去嘛，那天179个人死，就变成鬼魂了，对不对？所以我只能够说这些是 coincidence 啊，可能真的是一个 coincidence， 可是那个 coincidence 呢，也是 coincidence 到有点吓人啊，对不对？那我们也看一下那个 LA fire， 对不对？我说一些简单的 example 给大家看了因为其实呢这个我在这个算命的这个历程里面呢，已经看过太多这种coincidence也是觉得很奇怪。那 LA fire 是几时开始的？大家记得吗？大家记不记得？那个 LA fire 是OK， 好像是1月7号，对不对？哦，OK，January January 7，对不对？好，他是17号还是7号啊？那天那时候刚刚好有一个人 message 我 double check 一下，OK，我 check 一下那个 internet 哦，when the LA fire 2025 started，哦，那其实你们也可以在 Google 自己找一下，我只是给大家一些很简单的一些 coincidence 啊，可是这些 coincidence 也是很奇怪呀、对不对啊？它是刚刚好也是在 January 哦，January 7呢，对不对？也是17啊，一跟七我刚才就说过是什么号码？好，一跟七是什么号码？也是那个乌害的号码，也是 accident 啊，这个也是代表 accident。但你就说，哦，这个很大可能是一个 coincidence 啊，可是说，我不懂，我真的不懂。可是这个世界上真的有很多东西，我们 science 还不能够解释哦。17这个号码，乌害号码，我那天有教大家，对不对？那时候有教大家，好像177呀、1661啊、1221啊、1881这种，也是就是不好的号码，对不对？好，然后79是什么？79哈，你看啊，2025嘛，5+2+2就是等于9啊，那也是等于什么？也是那个我们的那个五轨号码嘞，啊，这个也是五轨嘞，哦，所以真的很奇怪了，我只能够说很奇怪了，对不对？所以呢，我看一下 Yvonne's comment. Calcium is best to be taken together with vitamin D for better absorption. Yes, definitely. Thank you very much. I'm someone who are into supplement also, right? Every day I take supplement, different kind of supplement. So it's like what I'm trying to say today, right, is that okay, 就是说我们古代的人哈，ancient people actually have left behind a lot of wisdom. It's just that we are not able to explain it at this moment scientifically. In a sense, right? Like nowadays, right? In the past, right? We have this guy by the name of okay, if you remember, right? In terms of the history of mankind, there is this guy called what you call that? Okay, there's this guy. All right, I will just show you these some of the history instances of what we once believed is the truth, but religious, right? Organization or religious groups, due to their uh, need to exert power onto the society, they have persecuted a lot of these kind of like what we call scientists like Nicholas Copernicus. Okay, this guy, right, actually proposed that, believe that the sun, right, the sun is at the center of the solar system, right? Means the Earth is here, the Moon is here. Go around the sun, right? He actually believed in this theory, but in the past, right, due to Catholic kind of like churches, right? The churches, because they had a very strong power over the society. So this guy was persecuted, right? This guy was persecuted. And another guy who shared the same belief was the Galileo, right? Right. The church also gave him a hard time, even though they have proven that, okay, let me go back to the history of Catholic or Christian belief. The Bible actually suggested that the earth, right, or Catholic or Christian believe the Bible, right, believe that the earth is the center of the universe, that God created the earth to be the center of the universe. But unfortunately, science was eventually able to catch up and have proven otherwise, right? The sun is actually at the center of the universe, and that the earth actually will go around the sun. That is the truth. So at different point of history, there will always be some people who will propose something that is totally unacceptable to their era, or is against the religious belief of that particular period. It's very much like Galileo, right? He proposed that the sun is the center of the universe, which was the truth, but it was against the majority belief during his time. And he was being persecuted, right? Very sadly, it's just a sad case. History keep on repeating itself. And if you are like me, who believe that feng shui and astrology actually has its share of value and is actually common sense, then you may actually be on the path of discovering the truth. It's just that at this era that you are in, science is not yet able to catch up and give you a very logical explanation. But as I mentioned, right, due to the emergence of this quantum entanglement theory, right, which have already been backed up by scientific study, there are actually experiments that shows that photons, when being split, they will still move at the same direction, right, even though they are no longer linked, despite the distance that they are apart, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that give it time, right? Give yourself time. Perhaps in another 20 years when we move into the 100桃花水星的时候嘛，那时候整个地球、整个世界、整个宇宙的人都会比较spiritual，或者那时候我们也可以从 science 的那个 explanation 那边呢知道什么是 spirit， 什么是 life after death，或者我们真的可以让我们了解 astrology 还有风水。它真的是一种一个 lateral phenomena 来的哦，因为我们全部的东西，这个宇宙全部的东西都有一个叫做什么东西，叫做共振啊，这叫 resonance 啊 ，resonance 哈、哦，叫做 resonance 这个字，好、哦、，OK， 那我写出来哈，这个字叫做 resonance， 我们中文就叫做共振。就是说，其实我们全部的东西都会互相影响啊，就是好像一个 matrix 这样子哦。所以为什么，如果你把你的外部环境搞好，你把你的家里面的风水环境搞好，你本身的身体也是会有一个好的转变。你的心理、你的身体哦，你的身体跟你的心理健康也是会有一个好转啊。那当你的 physical well-being and your psychological well-being are both positive, then of course it will lead to positive developments in life. It is very commonsensical and very logical. So give it time, all right? Give ourselves time. Everything in this world actually is, have this electromagnetic kind of induction. If you look at it, okay. Nowadays, there are a lot of things that are going on around us, like Wi-Fi transmission, Bluetooth transmission. Can you see them? Or when you look into the microwave, nothing is actually happening, but the food will get heated up and be cooked, right? But you cannot see anyone doing anything inside the microwave, right? But there are a lot of things that are going on beyond our physical eyes can detect. And that's very much like electromagnetic wave. Like our human body, a lot of photons inside that is being affected by our environment, like by our planetary movement, or even by our thoughts, right? Our thinking, right? Inside the synapses. Synapses are actually all caused by electromagnetic induction also, right? The synapses within our brain, okay? So when you are able to fine-tune your feng shui environment, your interior, your exterior environment, then will it help you in terms of mental health, mental well-being, your physical well-being? Of course, the answer is yes, okay? So hopefully today my explanation is not too scientific. Hopefully you haven't fallen asleep yet. But whatever I try to tell you, right, is what I have discovered. And I want to share with you because it makes sense. I'm someone who is very logical. And whatever doesn't make sense, right, I will not. I'm personally a very skeptical person also. But when I have seen something being proven again and again that is effective and has its value in terms of usage, in terms of its practicality, that's why I want to investigate further. And hopefully, right, you can also investigate further on your own, okay? Because all these are really, the internet is right in front of you. Whatever I say today is able to be backed up by scientific study. And you guys can just ask your AI, ask your, your chat GPT to give you more information on what is, for example, quantum, this quantum entanglement, right? All these theories are real life theories backed up by scientific experiment It's not something that I generate, like I tell you out of nowhere. Like it is really something that has happened, has taken place, right? For example, this quantum entanglement study, right? There are various studies, right? The first one is called the a large ion collider experiment, which focuses on studying the quantum plasma. It's not directly designed to study quantum entanglement. However, it involves particle collisions that may generate entangled particles during a high energy interactions. Okay, I know I'm very wordy, but all these are in your AI, in your Google, all right? And connection to entanglement in quantum mechanics, particles created in high energy collision, like those in the LHC, where may become entangled in certain conditions. Research in quantum entanglement is sometimes applied to understanding of the behavior of particles in this extreme environment. So there are another study in 2014, in near history, right? More and more studies are being conducted about this quantum entanglement. So you guys go and do some research on it, right? It's not something that you will read one time and be able to understand, but all these are backed up by scientific study. Okay, so ancient people fear eclipse of the sun and the moon. Yeah, in a way, they are all planetary movements, and in terms of astrology, if you look at Thai astrology, that's actually the star Rahu. Rahu is not a positive star, and all these are actually a reflection of the planetary movements. That's all. Okay, so everything about astrology and feng shui are based on common sense and based on observation. Is but in modern context, a lot of practitioners like to twist it, right? And to sell you feng shui products, especially. That's why you have to be very cautious to look at the practitioner in terms of the things that they tell you. Is it backed up by science? Is it logical? Is it commonsensical? Is it something that makes sense, right? That is something that I will tell or advise all of you. So if you believe that whatever I say today doesn't make sense, you don't have to believe also. It's just my personal point of view. Everyone is entitled to have their personal point of view regarding the world, regarding the universe we live in, regarding religious belief. For example, my personal belief is that all religions, basically, ultimately, they share the same value. So why must we fight over which is the truth, or which is the ultimate one and only true religion? Like some religions believe that they are the only true belief. I don't subscribe myself to such a kind of belief. Basically, ultimately, I would look at what kind of values that religion is promoting. If it is promoting peace, it is promoting love, it is promoting harmony, it is promoting faith, hope. I will say, well, I will take it. Like vitamin C. If I'm able to confirm that it is vitamin C, I will take it regardless it is Ocean Life or Blackmore or the Swiss or whatever. As long as it is good vitamin C, I will take it, right? So that's my take on religious study. Or religious belief also. Okay, so just want to thank all of you for watching today. I know today's topic, right, is really a little bit deep. It's a little bit scientific or even philosophical, but do more research on it and you will be able to come to a proper understanding on how physics is physics is correlated with astrology or some of the core principle of how planetary movements and how our external environment will affect our physical and mental well-being. So thank you all for watching today. I guess it's a little bit difficult to digest, so we call it a day, okay? And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So thank you all for being here tonight, and I will wish you a good evening. If you like my video, please share, subscribe, and press a like button so that more people will be exposed to what I believe is very constructive and helpful with ancient wisdom. So good night, and I will see you in the next live video. Bye bye.